Okay, in this video we're going to talk about Fantastico. Fantastico is a wonderful application that can make it very easy for you to install scripts without having to do a lot of database configuration and FTPs and things like that. So the first place to go is our cPanel because Fantastico is an application that's included with cPanel. If we scroll down our cPanel to the software and services, we'll see the smiling face over here, and that smiling face is what we click on to activate Fantastico Deluxe. Now when Fantastico first loads, it displays a little status panel. This status panel is telling me that I've got a WordPress installation that needs to be updated, and actually will give me a link over here to upgrade it. I'm not going to do that right now, but just wanted to show you that the initial thing you see with Fantastico is a status panel. Down the left side of Fantastico, I'll scroll down and you can take a look at some of the different software applications that you can install quite easily with Fantastico. And you'll notice a lot of common CMSs, customer relationship and help desk products, bulletin boards, e-commerce shopping carts, FAQ products, billing products, image galleries, mailing lists, polls and survey, project management projects, site builders, wikis, and a bunch of other scripts can be installed with Fantastico. It's a really great application to have if you want to set up a site and want to set it up quickly. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover a few of the things Fantastico does by actually doing a few installations. Now, one of the most common things that people use Fantastico for is installing WordPress. So if you look under blogs, you'll notice that here, lo and behold, is WordPress. I'll click on that, and it'll open up a screen that gives me a short description of WordPress and gives me a link to the WordPress website if I need more information. And that's typical of most Fantastico screens. They'll tell you a little bit about the product and tells me that I currently do have an installation of WordPress. The installation right now that I have is at my root level. But let's do another installation. And to do that is very simple. All I do is I click on New Installation. And the new installation is step 1 of 3, is going to ask me where I'm going to install it. There only is one domain on here, so that choice has already been made for me. What directory do I want to install it in? You'll recall I already have an installation at root, so I'm not going to put it there. That would be a conflict. If I did want to leave it in the root directory, I would leave this box empty. But instead, I'm going to install it in a directory called blog. So we put a directory in, we just type in blog. We don't need to put in any of the forward or backslashes or anything. Fantastico will take care of that. And the administrator username. Now, commonly people use admin, although for security purposes it's probably best not to use admin. So I'm just going to use my first name for this. That may not be the best choice either, but I am going to delete this blog after I do this video, so in this case it doesn't matter. I'd advise you to choose a name that isn't very easy to guess, though. And for a password, the same thing. Now, obviously, that's a very poor password to use. Again, this is just for demonstration purposes, and I fully intend to delete this as soon as we are finished over here. The nickname for the admin can be anything, and that's just the name that's going to appear on all the posts in WordPress. And I'm going to say admin, even though, again, that's not necessarily the best choice. It's picked a email address that it will set the administrator account to. I'm going to leave that where it is right now, but you can fill this box in actually with any email address that you like. And the site name, and I'm going to say this is the new blog. And the site description, those of you who have set WordPress up before will realize that what we're talking about are the site description would be the thing that is often printed on many themes underneath the site name. So we're just going to put a new blog as our description. And I'll click Install WordPress. Step 2 out of 3 is it's telling me what it's about to do. It's going to create a MySQL database. It's going to tell me how I'm going to get to my site. It's going to be in my domain/blog like I asked. And just ask me, do I want to finish the installation? Click. Let it think for a second, and the installation of WordPress is done. Now, isn't that amazing how quickly that is? You can see why the product's actually called Fantastico. It even gives me a link to my WordPress installation. Here's a link to the admin, which I'll just open up, and we'll just very quickly take a look at to see how it did. And here indeed is a admin login for my new WordPress installation. If I want to just go back to the site itself, back to the new blog, I'll click over here. And here it is, new blog, a new blog. Those of you who have installed WordPress will realize all the steps we've taken. We haven't had to create our own database. We haven't had to FTP files up. We haven't had to adjust our wp-admin.php file to put the database parameters. We didn't need to run the install program. Fantastico did all of that for us. So it really is a very quick way of building a website. One other thing that we'll show you now is we'll show you another common product, Joomla. Now this is Joomla 1.5, the later release of Joomla. Anyone who's installed Joomla knows that this can also be a fairly long task. There's a lot of files you have to FTP up, and similar to WordPress, you need to create a database for the product. You need to configure one of the files to work with the database. In Joomla installation, you also need to delete the installation files at the end. Again, Fantastico is going to do this all for us. So let's do a new installation of Joomla. And it's going to ask for a location, and we're just going to put it in a directory called Joomla. Again, I don't want to put it at my root because I have something there right now. Admin username, let's again use Bill, and the password. And again, very poor choices, just for illustration purposes. I will be removing them. The email address again, the admin full name, and the site name. I'm going to call it that. Do I want to install the sample data? People who have installed Joomla will know that it does come with some sample data, and it's usually a good idea to install it. It makes it a little easier to set your site up. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to say install Joomla. Again, just like with the WordPress installation, it's going to ask me, do I want to really do this? It's going to show me exactly what it's going to do, that there's going to be a Joomla site at this address over here in this domain. And I say yes, finish the installation. And look at that. That's completed right now. And here's my new Joomla website. I can go and take a look at that right now if I want to. And there it is, my new Joomla website, all set up and installed in really just a couple of seconds. I mean, that is absolutely amazing. So as you can see, Fantastico is a wonderful utility. There are all sorts of things you can install with it. If you go down to customer relationship, if you want to set a help desk up, you can do that. There's a number of things here. If you're not sure about these products here, you can just check on them. For example, if I wanted to install PHP support tickets, there'll be a short description of it there and a link to the home page so I can see if that's actually the one that I want to use, or maybe I'd decide that I want OS Ticket, which is a help desk product I've used before. Gives me the options of installing that. If I wanted to put a shopping cart in there, there are 3 very common open source shopping carts. If I wanted to put an FAQ up on my site, billing packages, image galleries, mailing lists, PHP list if I wanted to run my own autoresponder. Not necessarily what I would do, but for some people that may be what you'd want to do. There are just a wealth of different scripts that you can install with Fantastico, and as you can see, it's very easy to do and makes it very simple for anybody to install scripts with a very minimal amount of technical knowledge. So at any rate, that's our introduction to Fantastico. There really isn't that much more to it. Go into your Fantastico and explore it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it somewhat informative, and we'll see you on the other videos.